got my July kit from my kit club, and it is mostly the basic gray sugared collection. I have some chipboard flowers, raw and from basic gray from the sugared collection. And color box, fluid chalk ink, and some stamped pieces, craft cardstock, and a mini file folder, and this frame from Chipboard, raw chipboard, and then some bling and an album ring and some buttons and some brads. And a bunch of different ribbon and fiber. And then a bunch of different papers. And as I was looking at these papers, and I was thinking, what am I gonna do? And it was this paper, which is these adorable flamingos, that is inspiring my mini book project, which is actually going to be a mini book about flamingos. Because I actually have quite a few pictures of flamingos from being here in Florida, and so I'm going to use them. And so here's the chip pieces that came in the album. There's these three, and then these three, and then the centers pop out of these three. Okay, so I'm going to start by distressing these frames, and I started off with pink paint, and I got terrible coverage, so here I'm grabbing my white craft paint, and I'm going to prime the chipboard with white. If you paint raw chipboard white before you paint another color, you'll get much better coverage, and you'll see what I mean in a second. I'm going to now start painting it pink, and just look how much brighter that pink is compared to what I was getting before, and that's with just one pretty sloppy coat of white paint. Makes all the difference. Okay, so now here I have them all painted, and I'm taking, this is old paper distress crackle paint, and I have removed a heart from the center of that frame, and now I'm just going to put down a layer of the distress crackle paint. It comes with a brush, but because this frame was pretty delicate and intricate, I actually am using a much smaller brush that I already had to apply a nice thick layer. That brush would have just kind of made a mess, so I'm using my own brush. And now that it's dried now and it's crackled, and I'm using just my finger to rub some pink into the cracks, and then I'm rubbing the pink off with a little bit of a sponge. Again, just rubbing most of the pink off. It's going to stay in the cracks. We'll give it a kind of a pink and white look. And I'm going to repeat this on the 3 frames. So I'm going to cover each of the 3 frames in Distress Crackle Paint in old paper. And when it dries, I am going to rub pink paint over it to get it all into the cracks. And I'm putting a fairly thick coat of the Distress Crackle Paint. And now I'm going to paint this heart just pink. Just going to paint it pink. I'm just using some leftover pink paint I have on the sponge I used earlier. Using my paper piercer to hold the heart down. It was so small it kept sticking to my sponge. So now that I've done all my painting, here's what I have. This is sort of the order that the book is going to be in. You can see how I'm going to have 3 different styles of pages. And I'm going to start with these 6 photos, which are 3 by 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them with my ATG. I'm going to put glue on the back. And then I'm going to stick them to the small chipboard flourish pieces that you see at the top of the screen. The ones that were the inserts on the frames. And I am lining this up here so I can make sure I get this centered pretty well, because I don't want the picture to appear crooked. And now I'm just going to take my craft knife and trim it out. And this particular craft knife is the Martha Stewart craft knife. That's replacing my X-Acto knife that broke. And so now just finishing that off. And so you see now I have a picture. And I'm going to put another on the back. And I'm going to do that with all 3 of them. And so here you see I'm going to have 3 mini pages that are flourish shaped just like the larger pages. And they have photos on either side. So I now have found a way to incorporate 6 additional photos into this album. So now I'm taking glue dots and I'm applying them to the back of the frame, and I'm going to stick it to a photo. I just trimmed the excess from the edges, and now I have a photo in that frame. And I'm going to do a similar thing with these frames. I'm going to put glue dots on the inside, and then I'm going to stick a photo to it. You see me do that here. Just lining it up, pressing it down. So now I'm just adding the photo to the inside of the last frame. And so now I have included so far 10 photos in this album. And I'm going to get started on decorating the rest in the next video.